The book is Filter White by Sophie. Why do I keep saying that? Hey guys, my name is Gloria and welcome back to my channel where I review all kinds of books, but I do lean towards horror and dark fiction most of the time. And I also upload videos on my own writing and my own quest to become a published writer. So today's book is not a horror, but I do think it has horrific elements in it, specifically the horrors of social media, and it is Filter White. Filter White by Sophie. There you go. Filter This by Sophie White. It's fine, I can edit it. But before I jump into that, it is Monday when this is going up, hopefully. So I want to recommend a small booktuber, and the booktuber I have for you today is one that I've been watching for a few months. I really like her videos. She does lots of reviews on all kinds of things. Her name is Brie Buonomo. I've never heard her say her second name, so I'm not sure how she pronounces it, but you can check out her channel. So Brie does a lot of reviews on all kinds of books, novels, novellas. She does prose and poetry. She's a prose and poetry writer herself, and she's currently doing a lot of live write-in sprints for Camp NaNoWriMo that I am completely ignoring because I'm not writing at all, but that is irrelevant. You should still check out her stuff. And hopefully subscribe if you like what she's doing. But for me today, the book is Filter White by Sophie. Why do I keep saying that? Filter This by Sophie White. A journalist and a writer, she is also one of the 3 podcast hosts of my favorite podcast. I listen to a lot of true crime podcasts, creepy stories, horror story podcasts, but if I say to my boyfriend the podcast I listen to, he knows I'm exclusively talking about The Creep Dive, which is my absolute favorite podcast, and you should definitely check it out. I have wasted most of my Sunday today by watching their live streams on YouTube. They just put up a few, so you can actually go and see their faces. I didn't see their faces for quite a while before I was listening to it, so you can see their faces before you hear their voices. They tell stories that are full of murders, catfishes, people taken hostage, cannibals, incest, weird, just anything weird, any weird headlines. There's also some vanilla kind of ones that are about fraud and about stolen identities and stuff where no one gets murdered, but there's a lot of the other weird stuff too. A lot of weird animal stories as well. So check out the podcast. But last year she did publish her first novel. I just found out she had a cookbook out before that. But she did publish her first novel, which was Filter This, and follows the story of 2 Irish Instagram influencers. One is called Ali, and she is at the very bottom rung. She is trying to build up a following, trying to become an influencer who gets sponsored content and gets loads of brand deals and stuff. But her real life is very different to her online life, and her father is in declining health and he is in a care home, and she has to deal with the grief of that and her own personal issues, her own drinking issues, and just living in her own filth while she pretends to have a glamorous life on Instagram. And the other influencer is called Shelley. She is where Ali wants to be. She has a gorgeous husband, a lovely baby, she has a glamorous house and a glamorous lifestyle, and she has all the SponCon and all of the contracts with different brands and whatnot, but she's still not happy. But Ali's Instagram account starts to gain a lot of traction when she unwittingly makes a few posts that make her followers think that she is pregnant, and rather than correcting them, she leans into it, and because of this ever-growing lie, she begins to get very popular. She begins to float in the same circles as Shelley, and at the same time Shelley discovers that she is actually pregnant, which she is trying to hide because it would cause some negativity in her life with her husband. So while Shelley is being brought violently back to reality, Ali is having to deal with the fake reality that she has created for herself, and she allows her lie of omission to go way too far. So full disclosure, if you're a type of person who gets very anxious about your follower counts or your likes or anything else, you might want to read this with caution, because while I have started giving myself goals for different things, including my Instagram, I'm not like super into it. Clearly I don't put a lot of time into it, but reading this, I did get a little bit anxious about my follower count and trying to gain more followers. So between the chapters of Instagram basically tearing these two people's lives apart, I was putting down the book and picking up my phone and using Gary V's 180 method to gain more followers and trying to think of ways for me to increase activity on my account and stuff. It was just a weird, anxious feeling. I think while Ali in the book talks a lot about getting a dopamine hit and liking the likes and subscribes and all of the activity in her account and stuff, and I think it did sort of needle its way into my brain a little bit. I do spend a lot of time on my phone, a lot of time scrolling, and it's not great. So just read with caution if you are the type of person who is a little bit too focused on Instagram and too focused on followers and whatever, but you can still enjoy it because it does tell you exactly why you shouldn't be focused on that. While the book doesn't condemn anyone for wanting followers or having social media accounts and stuff, because we all have them, it's impossible to get away from them. I think the main moral of the book is to take a step back from these and to focus on your real life and what's really important, and to not create an unobtainable persona for yourself online that actually has a negative effect on the real you. So on the surface, Filter This is a comment on our obsession with social media, with our social media accounts, with our follower accounts, with curating a perfect life and a perfectly filtered life. It's really interesting seeing the differences between Shelley and Ali in the book, because Shelley is where Ali wants to be. She has all of the things that Ali wants to be. She has the Instagram account that Ali wants to have, and yet she's still faking to the same degree, if not an even greater degree, than Ali, who has to create a perfect life from living in a rundown apartment with a fake pregnancy and at the same time grieving for her dying father. But it also goes a lot deeper than that, because we do get more into Ali's life, her relationship with her mother or lack thereof, her genuine grieving for her father who isn't dead yet, but who she can't communicate with. He has Alzheimer's, so he's pretty much unresponsive. He's in his last days, and she tries to cope with this by drinking too much and by getting dopamine hits from Instagram and getting love and attention from Instagram that she can't currently get from her father. White candidly writes about the mental health struggles of both of these women, the struggles with motherhood, and the perception that you're supposed to be perfect, you're supposed to be energetic and happy and excited all the time, you've always got things going on, things to announce in the future, and can't wait for this to happen. And she even points out in the book, which I thought was interesting, that a lot of the Momstagram accounts never have any mention whatsoever about babysitters or nannies or anything, whereas all of the big influencers in this book all have nannies. They all have someone else actually parenting most of the children. She also talks about loneliness. She talks about the yearning that we all have to some degree, I think, some of us worse than others, to get that dopamine hit, even if it's not from getting followers or whatever. It's just the scrolling through our phones, the going on and seeing cool pictures and reading cool things and whatnot. And she does dive into sort of the backstory of the type of people who do end up catfishing or faking pregnancies or just living a lie online, and the type of situations that can lead ordinary people to do this, because it's very difficult to imagine from an outsider standpoint how someone could possibly go along with a lie that they're pregnant or a lie that they're one person when they're not. But she does a good job of explaining how this could come to be and makes it quite believable in Ali's case and in Shelley's case too. She also touches a lot on the fact that the difference between Ali and Shelley is that Ali is trying to do all of these things to make it. It's almost like she thinks that once she gets to that level, once she has the money and once she has all of these things, she won't have to fake it anymore. She'll just be glamorous, whereas Shelley has made it to all of these things and yet she is still constantly faking things. She has a fake account for her husband, a fake account for her daughter. She has fake posts that she puts up. She gets her PA to do unboxing videos where her PA uses her hands. They're not actually her hands, so that she doesn't have to actually unbox things because it would just take up too much time in her life. So it's Ali is faking things to make it and Shelley is faking things to keep it. And because of this, Ali is neglecting her family life and her friends even, and Shelley is neglecting her husband and her child. She's so focused on maintaining this business, this Shelley brand that she's created, that even though her husband is sick of it and even though she barely spends any time with her daughter, she needs to keep up these lies and she needs to make people think that they're all still happy and everything's fantastic in order to keep it going. And also, as Ali is doing it as a way to cope with grieving for her father, she's using it as a way to cope with her doubts that she even still loves her husband or that she can be a mother, as she hasn't really done a lot of the parenting in the last few years. So on her part, she's just keeping up the filter just to stay afloat on the whole thing. Listening to the Creep Dive podcast for so long, you can absolutely tell that this is Sophie White's voice. Can confirm, not ghost written. So it's full of dark humour, it's full of disgusting humour, it's full of starkly blatant observations of the hypocrisies that we all live and the ridiculous facades that we all keep up and we can all see through, but we do it because everyone else is doing it. And Grim looks at the state of our relationships to social media, to the internet and to the online personas that we have created, not just from people who have accounts and who are trying to gain followers, but the actual followers who are frothing at the mouth just to tear people down and to keep receipts and to find gossip on people so that they can have them #cancelled. I enjoyed this a lot more than I thought I was going to, but I think again it's Sophie White's writing in it that made me like it so much. You could pick this up and think it's just an airhead book about Instagram, but that's not what it is at all. It's actually really poignant and it's really heartbreaking at times. So the characters in the book as well, while they don't do very nice things and they do make a lot of mistakes, but you can still follow along their journey and you don't have to agree with everything that they do, but none of it was out of the blue. It all made sense for those characters and you do sort of see the unfortunate downward spiral for both of them, and they were great contrasts for each other as well. So characters, setting, humour, plenty of hashtags to figure out. I do feel super old because I was going through this hashtag OOTD. No idea what that was for about halfway through the book until I actually googled it, and it's outfit of the day. So my outfit of the day is yellow with horrific nail polish so that I can match the book and my eyeshadow too. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I would highly recommend. I will be purchasing the newly released sequel, which is called Unfiltered. I'll be buying that from the Gutter Bookshop in Dublin because fuck Jeff Bezos. I would definitely recommend this one, and if you liked it, why not follow my Instagram, you know, give me a little dopamine hit, help me reach my goals, hashtag goals for the year. But yeah, really enjoyed it, would recommend it. If you like what I'm doing here, you can like and subscribe down below. Also, don't forget to check out Bree's channel. I really like her channel. I really appreciate anyone who's watched this far, who's watched any of my other videos. I really appreciate all the subscribers I have so far. And I hope you'll join me in the next video where I shall be reviewing a dragon-filled queer fantasy. So stay tuned for that, and I shall see you in the next video.